So we're here at the Curzon Cinema in Soho, and I'm really delighted to meet somebody I've always wanted to meet, Steve Coogan. Steve, lovely to meet you.
Nice to meet you,
And obviously, very different circumstances here. We're talking about homelessness, and we're talking about someone's daughter, someone's son, directed by a friend of yours, Lorna Turner.
Yeah.
Lorna Tucker.
Lorna Tucker. Lorna, well, I like I say, I got involved in this, in just helping Lorna. I'm an adjunct to this, on the periphery of it. But Lorna Tucker, who's the subject, not only the director of the film, of course, she's the subject of it as well. She experienced homelessness firsthand. And I met her a few years ago and was really interested in her story. And but she's a friend of mine that it goes beyond the uniqueness of her experience as a homeless person and having made a success of it, a successful sort of escape from that abyss to become a successful filmmaker. But beyond that, she's a great example of what people miss when they see homeless people, is that she is a talented person, irrespective of the fact that she went through this experience. Even though I'm sure that's part of what makes her creative. But my friendship with her is based on something which is in no way charitable or patronising in any way. I get something from Lorna. She's intelligent, so it's a two-way street. It's quid pro quo. I ask her about the things I'm doing. She gives me advice. So she's a good friend and a sort of creative counsel for me. And she's an established, documentary maker, and she's going to go on to make narrative films. But I wanted to help her with this particular film because this documentary is about revisiting that very dark period. And unlike homelessness is a kind of an issue. Some people when they hear that think, oh, it's just a perpetual problem. They glaze over, and because this documentary is so unique, because she's lived it and she's experienced it, and it makes it a unique documentary. I was all when she asked me to do this, I was of course, it's the least I can do to support it, and I won't end here at this great screening tonight. I'll be there as a resource for her in trying to use this as a springboard to make some sort of material difference. Yeah.
I represent Housing Technology, which is obviously one of the supporters of the film. But our publication supports 4.5 million homes, 5 million people. Right? It comes from a technology perspective. It's about bringing technology together for good to build homes faster, smarter, and cheaper.
Yeah.
Right.
Great.
So we talk about policy, but what I think your call to action, certainly when you mentioned on stage, is about collaboration and bringing the great people together to actually just solve a problem.
Yeah, joined up thinking, and if technology and the politicians and the sort of people who are socially minded, as was outlined in the documentary, that there's a great deal of consensus on the direction to go in. It's a direction where everyone wins. Often in sort of public policy debates, there are entrenched views, often very oppositional. It's not really the case here. I think if you look at the facts and the experience and the stats, there should be a broad coalition of support for how to solve this. It's not going to be a push and pull. It's just about resolve, and where everyone benefits. But it just requires joined up thinking. Oftentimes, when there are institutions, even if they're supposed to be acting in concert, they have sort of micro agendas, and sometimes that's difficult to coalesce. You need someone to crack the whip and say, look, let's, the old cliche of getting around the table and saying, look, we all sort of agree on this. Should we stop talking about it and start doing something about it?
I mean, obviously, a lot of people know you from some of the things that you've done, and you've applied yourself in some very, very interesting situations. So, but this is something that we can prevent. I think the homelessness side of things. I mean, it's a worldwide epidemic. There are 300,000 people in the UK. that don't have a home. There are 1.5 billion people, believe it or not, on the planet that don't have a place they can call a home. And according to the UN, that's going to rise to 3 billion.
Yeah.
So we've got to do something about
Yeah,
this.
we have to make homes and think about it in a new way. You know, there was after the war, of course, there was a post-war consensus there, and that had mixed results, but it had the right intentions to try and get rid of the slums and create modern homes. And as I say, it worked well in some regards, it didn't in others. But I think probably we've learnt a lot since then, and we know how to do it properly now. But I think it's time to sort of embrace that as an opportunity that benefits everyone. That's the point. It's not just we've all got to like grin and bear it. It's something that will what goes around comes around. Everyone wins.
Steve, I know you're a busy man, and we've all got a call to action. But thanks very much for your time.
Great, no,
and
great.
Obviously, our readers at Housing Technology will really thank you for.
Good. Well,
thanks
for being a supporter of this documentary, and yeah, I mean, if you want to come and green-proof my house, because I think my carbon footprint's it's an old, drafty old thing. So I don't know if you'd probably help me. You probably have to start from scratch. When I knock it down, start again. Okay.
Yeah. Thanks very much,
Cheers.
mate.
Thank you.
Cheers. Thanks.
Thanks.